up, guys? Welcome back to Big Yogi's Garage. Today I got my boy Beezy.
What's going on? What's going on,
What's
man?
up? I met him through my dude Jacob, the one that rents me the studio. Jacob Conine. They both work out with me at the same gym.
Yes,
so I wanted to get Beezy on just to talk to me a little bit about what he does and stuff like that. So Beezy, what's up, man? What do you do for a living?
All right, so right now, I'm starting my wholesale business. I'm starting my real estate and just entrepreneurial business and just starting that process.
Okay, and then how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 18 years old.
You're 18 years old?
Yeah.
Okay, so an 18-year-old can actually do that kind of stuff. Not too many people think that they can actually just be into that kind of stuff already. How did you even get into that kind of stuff?
So it's a lot that got me into this. Like a lot prior to even starting what I do now.
What was that first thing like when you were what was you in high school when it gave you that first like?
All right, so I honestly how all this started.
Yeah, tell me that because I want to know a little bit.
All right, so how all this started was just from my character. It started from making a post on Facebook in a wrestling group chat. So we had recently just lost our wrestling coach. He passed away to an illness, and we didn't have a coach for the year, and we were getting coached by our athletic director. And so I reached out to the wrestling community like, it's my senior year. I don't want to, this is important to me. This is important to the team. So we need to bring somebody in here who knows what they're doing so we don't feel like our season went to waste. And so with that being said, Jacob, he actually reached out and he came through to a couple of practices. We ended up losing him throughout the way, but God made things happen for a reason. So we were talking about this the other day, and he was just like, I don't know why God brought me to Rogers, but as we found out, this is why right here. And so some months went by, and I started studying real estate, and I started studying wholesaling, and I started studying just drowning myself in studies, and I started to get comfortable, and I started trying to reach out and build my network. And so I started joining a whole bunch of Facebook chats and Facebook groups, real estate investor groups. And, Jacob was just all through them. And I noticed him. So I reached out to him like, oh, I have some contracts that I need him to look over because I really wanted to get serious with this. I have some contracts I need a real estate attorney to look over. And could you help me? That's basically all I asked him. And what he said to me was, just like this. Oh yeah, bro, no doubt. I got an office right next to Mudhen Stadium. You can start coming to learn about real estate. So off rip, I'm kind of skeptical. I'm like, huh? So I was like, all right, do you want to meet for coffee? And so we planned to meet for coffee. And then the day that we planned to meet, he was like, oh yeah, we can't meet for coffee. Can you just meet me at my office? I'm like, I guess, I guess I don't really know what's going on, but sure. And so we sat down right here, and he started telling me about everything that he does. And mind you, when I came here sharp. I had on the Hermes belt, I came here sharp, my shoes, gold, and all type of everything. I tried to put my best foot forward, and I didn't even know what for. I just knew that this was some kind of opportunity.
Some kind of opportunity. You was just like, there has to be something.
Right, there's something going on. I came up there with my, dressed to impress.
You remember him being at your school, like coming to talk to you, so you knew that there was something to this.
No doubt. I remember him coming. He a dog too. He used to scrape me in wrestling. Like we had sparred a little, or I guess you call it sparring, but we just rode around on the mat a little bit. He showed me just how not good I was.
Oh, okay, because he used to wrestle too back in Clay and stuff.
I think he was
for Oregon schools or something.
Top 5 in the state at some point, I believe.
Damn, right.
But I hope I'm not getting to work because it could be higher. So I don't want to. But
anyways,
where was I at?
I remember, you said that you remember he was a dog, and
So he was telling me about what he does. He's like, oh yeah, so I'm in solar sales and investing in nonprofits and I do real estate. And so subconsciously I just started saying, oh, so what are our next plans? What are we planning for? I didn't even notice until I caught on, and I just kept doing it because at that point I was already enrolled. So we just start having that conversation. And then at the end of the meeting, he was like, oh, meet me back up here around 10 a.m. I'm like, okay. So now I met him. I got the vibe. I'm enrolled, and we pop I pop up here at 10 a.m. and he just slaps some onboarding documents in my face like, come work with me. And the craziest thing about it is that I started my wholesaling business 3 days ago. This happened, this whole process probably happened 2 months ago, and I done changed my career path probably like 3 times already. I started off in solar sales. I was going door to door, and then I started in event, and then I went to events and nonprofits. I done drove to Philly to learn from people and all type of stuff. But all of that brought me here.
That's awesome. So like, were you raised in a family where this like automatically is given, or like were you raised in a tough situation? How was you raised?
So
like, cause I you know what I mean? Like, was it easy to get where you're at? So
you know,
give me a little background.
For sure, man. So you know, I'm raised in Toledo. You know, we were actually raised on the north side of Toledo, Mulberry, and nothing was given to me ever. Like, you know, my mom tried and is still trying her hardest to give me the best life, and even though she couldn't give me the materialistic things, she definitely instilled certain values in me that got me to where I am today.
I can tell, man.
You know, so
I can tell from like the conversations we had at the gym and everything, the way you act and the way you are.
Man, and like, you know, my pops wasn't around, and I carried a lot of resentment for that. But you know, I'm starting to, you know, not forgive him, but I'm starting to let that resentment go so that I can be freer. And so that I don't gotta, you know, let that hold me back, because regardless of what, regardless of that situation, period, I know that with what my mom has taught me, and don't let me forget about my big brother, because my big brother, he still is the person who's just teaching me, like, he taught me how to be a man. So I owe my mom and my big brother, and even my stepdad, just the people in my life that's been around me, I owe everything to them. But like I was saying before, nothing was handed to me. You know, I grew up, it was rough, but you know, I feel like the best way I can put it is I'm a product of my environment. Regardless, wherever you come from, you're gonna be a product of your environment.
Absolutely.
But I didn't allow myself to be a victim to it.
Absolutely. Were you a straight A student, or were you in trouble in school or anything?
So, all right. So it's kind of funny because it was fluctuating, because like I always was capable of being the best in school, but I didn't want to. That was
you didn't put in the effort.
Right. So at first, when I was in elementary school, I was getting in trouble every day. They stopped writing me referrals. They just got this big old pink paper and just put times on it every time they had to send me to the office. And then ended up getting kicked out of my first elementary school and I'm gonna admit to it because I'm grown now, but I threw a book at a teacher, and to this day I still like, bro, I ain't never did, bro, I threw a book at a teacher. And so I ended up going to Rogers High School, and you know, my freshman year, for like a quarter, I did good, and then I just started slacking off, or I wouldn't even call it slacking off. It just didn't hold my interest, so I didn't really give it my energy. So my sophomore year, I was wrestling. I was captain of the wrestling team, all type of good stuff. And going into around this time, actually, we got our grade cards back for second quarter, and I was ineligible. I had a 0.7 GPA. Like a 0.7, 0.7.
Because you didn't put the effort in?
No effort whatsoever. Like I was just in there to be in there. Right. But I got that, and you know, my coach came up to me. He was like, "You're ineligible. There's nothing we can do." And I was that was
heartbreaking.
It was, man, what? And then it wasn't even the fact that I was ineligible, like that hurt, but the fact that everybody on my team, like, oh, like, bro, you stupid. Like, bro, 0.7, bro, you stupid. And I don't know what that did to me, but it was just like,
put a fire under.
Bro, who do you think? Like, who is you talking to? So the following year. Or no, it wasn't even the following year. It was the following,
like quarter or something?
Maybe. It was either the following quarter, or I think this was my junior year. It was whatever quarter the COVID year was. This is when we were going virtual. And, and COVID killed everybody. I know people who were top of their class that dropped down to the bottom of the list just because of how COVID affected the school system. It's never been nothing like that before.
No, it's still affecting the school system right now.
Literally.
There's still kids that are backtracked a couple years.
Right.
I think this is going to affect the school system for the rest, like for a long time. You know what I
Maybe
mean?
until like the third graders graduate. Like that's how
'cause
bad it was.
Everyone's backed up a little bit.
And so those top of the class students, that COVID year came and they didn't know how to adjust and just plummeted. Everybody just plummeted. And I seen that opportunity as, I'm working on my own time. I don't have to be in the school, but I knew that like if I was gonna succeed, I had to give effort because it was easier than ever just to be like, I'm not doing that. I'm at home. That's why everybody started plummeting. But, I took initiative and I just started to get deep into my studies. And then by the time our grade cards came out, I had 4.4 for the semester.
Damn.
It was crazy. And
so you went from all the way down here all the way.
For sure. So
and
it bumped me up. I was like top 70 something in my class, and then I bumped up to graduated at top 12.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, man. But just to answer your question, no, I was not like that in school at first. But again, teased and all that.
Yeah, something that being
clicked.
teased, it gave you the bump to go over the hump to get the grades. Anyways, I was gonna ask you, so like now I see sometimes on your stories and your social media that you go back to schools and like hand things out and stuff like that. Or like I seen something like, I don't know if it was at schools or do you go back to Rogers and stuff like that?
I'm actually, me and Jake got something planned, and I'm not even sure if I'm allowed to say this, but I'm gonna say it just to make it real because I'm super excited about it. But we're actually gonna start.
Well, you sure you're supposed to?
I ain't gonna give too much information.
Yeah.
But we're gonna start. I ain't even gonna say what it's called, but we're gonna start uplifting kids out of poverty by teaching them business.
Okay, yeah. I'm sure he's gonna be proud of you saying any of that because that's what we plan on doing. Like he's always doing that,
right?
And that's what you're doing right. And then by me having this podcast, that's what I want to do too.
Absolutely.
So it's something that we're all planning on doing. So go ahead and say that again. What's it called? Say it again.
We're gonna help uplift kids out of poverty by teaching them business.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It really is, and so I'm sorry, I don't even know where we were going with that.
I was asking like, you know what I mean? Like, what do you like? Cause I seen you like giving away stuff and.
So what you seen was every Sunday I'm part of a group called 419 Cares.
Okay.
And every Sunday uptown Toledo, we actually feed the homeless, and it's a really big event. We're even in the worst weather, we get upwards of 100-something people.
Okay.
200, 300 on the best days. Like we're feeding a lot of people, and I block off every Sunday from 11 to 1. Anybody's welcome. Whoever wants to come through and help out and help. You don't have to bring anything. Just come with a full heart and be ready to help. And we just help these people and we connect with them. And something cool that I brought to the program is when I came, everything was great, but it just seemed like the energy and the vibe there was a little bit low. So I started a game donation, and we got like cornhole, chess, checkers. They be teasing me because I don't know how to play dominoes yet. And so it's just a big old picnic now, and everybody gets to play. And it's getting a little bit cold, so I haven't brought the games out in a while, but they still get on me about that. Like, I would have still do some cornhole. So I might have to start doing that again.
Yeah.
That's
we're about to have some bad weather pretty soon, but it is pretty soon the weather will pass or whatever. So okay, so these little kids, man, a lot of crazy shit going on with these kids, and in the North End and the East Side and all over Toledo, man. Like, how do these young kids, these 14, 15-year-old kids, give a little bit of advice to some of these kids to like break out of that bad cycle and like maybe find a mentor like somebody like Jacob?
No
like,
doubt.
What advice would you give?
Man, I say, just like I said before, it's okay to be a product of your environment. That's it's not even okay, it's inevitable. Wherever your environment is, you are going to become a product of that. The way that you act, the way that you talk, the way that everything is going to be from your environment. But you got to understand, the same way it's okay to be a product of your environment, it's okay not to be a victim of that as well. So, growing up on the north side of Toledo, not being around, the best kind, like I was a victim of my environment at first, but I could tell that there was something wrong. And like, when you start being around a different group of people and start changing your surroundings, you really gonna understand how a lot of the stuff that you did before and that you're doing now, it's not as cool as you think it is. Like
It don't even make sense. Like when you step out of that bubble and you look back,
right,
and you look back, you're like, what was I doing,
there's
man?
man, like I'm telling you, like you said, 13, 14, by the time you're 18, if you change, right, if you change your surroundings right now, if you change who, and I'm not even saying, or let me stop right there. You really don't even got to change who you're around.
Yeah.
You just got to change your
It's like your
morals.
mindset,
yeah,
right?
Your mindset. Now that'll help. Like I'm able to sit in a room with anybody. Some of my best friends are people who are not doing the best of things right now.
Yeah, you're
But at the
sitting right
same-
now with
right.
someone that I've been in prison and
Yeah,
all
man,
kinds
like
of stuff.
literally. But you don't gotta be like them. Like
Yeah,
you can have love for anybody. You can have love for your greatest enemy, but you can have love for anybody. But you got to learn how to love some people from afar.
yeah,
And that's what my mom has really like taught me. And you know, my brother, he wasn't, you know, he wasn't tippity top, you know, like he was into some stuff as well. But he told me the other day, like on Facebook, he was like, I'm the reason why he started doing better. And from that, he's in a way better situation. He's being better for his kid. Like it's just
amazing.
it snowballs. It's a snowball effect.
So you recommend for kids to you can still be like, say you're from the east side, from the north end, you can still be like, if you're stuck there, you're stuck there. But as long as you change your mind, as long as you like try to drive forward, you can break out of that stuff, right?
Man, you can literally do anything
You want.
that you want. And I know y'all hear all the time, but
Some people don't can't really see that.
Man, coming from somebody who's doing it right now, I'm 18 years old.
Yeah.
This office that we're in right now, I come here every day, and I'm like, you can do anything that you want. It's just the fact that are you gonna do it? The main thing it's procrastination, bro. Like if you want to do something, what's stopping you from doing it? And like procrastination can be disguised in many different things. Cause I've tried to do this wholesaling thing before. I had a whole different job, and this is kind of how I met Jacob, because I told him that I started like studying this. And my problem was my procrastination was disguised in me studying. We call that paralysis over analysis.
You were trying to study so much you wouldn't start the process.
Right. It's literally you can get procrastination can come in. You want to just study and just make sure you know everything before you get yourself into something.
Yeah.
Or like perfection prevents explosion.
Yeah.
If you want things to be perfect, you ain't gonna never explode.
Yeah. Sometimes I ask somebody to be on my podcast and they say, no, I'm not ready. I'm still not the president of the company yet.
Right.
I'm like, bro, I don't want you to tell me the story of how you became the president.
Right.
I wanted you to tell me, like right now, you're 18 years old. I want you to tell me your story, how you got to become this guy.
Right.
And then later on, we can tell the story how you became the president of the company later on.
And,
you know what I'm saying?
And you know, something I feel like is so important for people to understand is that you got to be what you want to be before you're even that.
Of course.
If you want to be the president of the company, you got to be that. If I want to be a $1 million wholesaler, I got to be that right now so I can be that. So I got to work like I'm that. I got to act like I'm that. I got to hold myself to that same kind of standard.
Yeah.
Because if I don't do that, then I will never get there.
Yeah, and you got to dedicate yourself to that kind of stuff. Just like every morning I see you at the gym.
Oh, yeah.
And I know it's hard to be at the gym in the morning because it's hard for me. So I know it's hard for you. And you're there every morning. You guys are there working out because it's dedication. It's not just like one thing. But I can see how dedicated you are at the gym. I know that makes you dedicated at your job. That makes you dedicated at stuff. Because the thing is, when you become a dedicated person to certain things, that ends up trickling down to almost every single thing that you do.
No doubt. And like almost everything that I'm gonna say today is something that I learned in the last 3 months from my mentor.
Yeah.
From Jacob. And that fits into this lesson that I learned, that how you do anything is how you do everything.
Everything, yeah.
How you wake up and brush your teeth in the morning is gonna change how you run a company.
Yeah. So I believe in that too. I've said that a whole bunch of times.
So you gotta be
Jacob taught you a lot about that kind of stuff, right?
Man, like he drops gems on me every day, and I don't take anything for granted. I really don't. And
what was he telling us the other day at the gym? Remember he was telling us like a very important message about being unique, like being yourself.
Absolutely.
Like it doesn't matter what you do in life. just be unique. You know what I mean? Be yourself.
Absolutely.
And that's just like a million people can have a podcast, but no one can have Big Yogi'Z
No one can
Garage.
have Big Yogi'Z Garage, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's
No doubt.
me. I'm the one that brings my guest on, and a lot of people might not be able to open up and have a conversation with everybody, but a lot of people can, like, once they sit down in that chair and they start talking to me, like, it gets easy, man. Because I bring in almost like a little chill to the conversation. At least that's how I feel. I don't know.
No, for sure. And you able like. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I wasn't a little nervous.
Yeah, me too.
Almost killed my water before I even drank, you know, like. Yeah. But I can definitely, the vibes here is immaculate. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate it. It just feel like a safe space, and that's a skill. Like that's definitely a skill. Just be able to project that feeling of being just safe and being able to talk and
because I try to do that because I don't want no one to be on my podcast and be like, oh, it's like scared to talk or not bring up. Because I'll be asking stuff like, hey, how did you grow up with your family and stuff? That might be a little personal for you to tell just anybody. But I want to know your story because I don't want it to be just one podcast and then boom, I don't ever see you again. We work in the same office. You work here, I work here. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna be seeing each other. We see each other at the gym. So we're gonna have multiple occasions. You're gonna come on the podcast. You got a podcast, right? Or you? Oh yeah. You do have a?
Yeah, we do. It's called W2W Podcast. Work to Win. We hold that at the Junction Coalition.
See, I want to be a guest on your podcast.
Yeah, no doubt. You don't have to, man. It's a little personal stuff is going on right now between some of the cast members. But once we get everything figured out, we're gonna be right back at it and sharing. And we kind of do the same thing. We try and give the youth in Toledo a voice to be able to talk about their dreams and aspirations, because I feel like once you say it and then once you document it, and this is documented.
Yeah.
Once you do that, anything can happen.
Yep, I believe in that too. I believe in putting everything out there in the world so we can document it. It's like almost like writing it down.
Right.
You know what I mean? But since I have so many, I have my cleaning business. I have a job with my girlfriend or my wife. Sorry, my wife. And then I have this podcast. So I believe in documenting things like video of documenting, because I know that one day I'll be able to see this. Somebody else will be able to see this, and then keep going from there.
Really?
I know a lot of younger generation in the East Side that I grew up with. They watch my podcast, so I like to have like the youth like that. Yeah. Because you're 18, but my son is 18.
Right.
I have a son that's 18 and a daughter that's 20 years old. So to me, I look at you as a young man. You know what I mean? So I know, man, the stuff that you're telling me is amazing. I'm so glad. I can't wait. So I always ask people, like, what is your biggest dreams? I know I don't want you to say, oh, I just want to have. No, what is the biggest dream for you? Like
the biggest dream.
Like for you to like, what are you thinking about? Like one day you're gonna be what?
One day.
One day, what do you want to be?
Look, the way that I see it, man, I've been doing some soul searching, and I don't really know what my end goal is, because I
don't want it to be like just like something like don't be like 100% specific, but like
I just want to be the person who can help the most people and just reach out and bring people to the level that they know and I know and everyone know that they can be at, because a lot of people are suppressed in their own bubbles in their own communities because don't nobody believe in them. But I believe in everyone from the janitor to the CEO. So it's like if I believe it, and everything I believe is real. I'm gonna put that out there right now. If I believe I'm gonna be $1 million wholesaler, $1 million real estate investor, $1 billion, that's real. So if I believe in you, then it's real. So you just gotta see it too.
Yeah, because anything that you can dream of, somehow, some way you can make it happen. No doubt. Because like there was a point where Steve Jobs dreamed about having an iPhone. Right. There wasn't iPhones, there was just flip phones at that. And he said, I'm gonna have a phone with a screen and buttons you can touch. And he made it happen, bro. Right. He gave all these engineers the ideas and this, because sometimes you might have a dream, but you can't do it by yourself. But that's when you have people step in the way, bro. As long as you go, okay, let's say you get an idea, right? And you go and you take that next step. God or whatever you believe in, I don't know if some people don't believe, some people believe in other things. Whatever you believe in will give you that next step, or will give you that person that crosses your path, someone like Jacob, to cross your path, so you can be like, hey, so it can open up a whole new level. And then all of a sudden you start learning a little bit more and a little bit more. And then all of a sudden, like, even like I just asked you, what's your end goal? And I know, remember earlier you said you've already switched career paths
Yeah.
3 times in the last couple
2
months.
bro.
So I know you can't just say, I'm going to be this guy.
Right.
No, because things are going to switch. But just take that next step.
Right.
And that next step and that next step. And I know that you'll get exactly
what I'm supposed to, you gonna go to exactly where you're supposed to be at. And you know, and my thing is, like, when we were doing, there was a position called an authorized provider. It was, you know, you run your own business, and that was my goal. But as I started to progress and start to mature, not only for myself and my age, but like in my business sense, mature business wise, I started understanding that that's not what I want out of life, period. So as you start to chase your first goal, it's gonna lead you to another goal. And then once you chase that one, it's gonna lead you to another. And eventually you're gonna be living whatever goal God has intended for you, or like the universe, whatever you're gonna start living that.
Yeah.
And you just gotta, there's nothing wrong with setting a big goal. Even if it change, your goals can change. Your goals can change, your why can change, all of that can change. And we ain't even talk about the whys, we'll get into that a little bit. But all that can change, but as long as you stay true to yourself and you know that you're putting in 120%, your outcome is gonna be great. It's always, and this is something that Jacob taught me, is process over outcome. You make a goal, right? This is how I make all my goals. You make a goal, and you put it on the shelf. This is how he taught me. You get a goal and you put it on the shelf, because if you stay focused on that goal, it can drive you insane. If you wanna make 6 figures and you go out every day, oh, I gotta make 6 figures. I gotta make 6 figures. Why I ain't make 6 figures yet? That can drive you insane. But if you, all right, I wanna make 6 figures, put that on the shelf and then start making smaller process goals, steps. You wanna make steps and processes, so that once you hit those smaller goals, you're closer and closer to your main goal.
Bigger goal.
To your bigger goal.
So it's almost like putting it at the top of a ladder or a step, and then taking it up and getting to that goal.
And you forget about it until
right before you get it.
Right, you forget about it, and you forget about your main goal until you have to pull that when you're in a time of distress. When you're like, I can't do this no more. I can't. And then you go, man, I gotta make 6 figures, and then you get right back turned. So now you back in the game. But you don't want to keep on focusing on something so big, because it can drive somebody. That's
kind of like, have you ever heard of The Power of Now? The Power of Now is a book by Eckhart Tolle. He wrote a book called The Power of Now. That's kind of what it's not exactly what Jacob's talking about, but okay, you have a goal. We all have goals. We want to be successful. We want to be this and that. But the power of now is, don't worry about the future too much. Don't, like your goal, you said you put it in the shelf. Then don't worry about your past. Just worry about now, the power of right now. Like now, this moment we're having right now is the only moment that exists. Earlier on traffic, when you were driving here, that doesn't exist no more. You're already here. When we leave, it's not here yet, because we don't even know like what's gonna happen when we leave. So actually, for real, in the world right now, the only thing that's happening is right now. So if you can control, be the best person you can be in this moment, be nice to people. I'm not only talking about this moment, I'm talking about all moments in your life.
Doing it this moment will be all moments.
Yeah, because this moment is the only moment that exists. Because at the end of the day, the future, we don't know what's gonna happen, and the past already happened. So if we're nice to everyone that we meet, and we're respectful to everyone that we meet, and we open doors, and we do this, and at every moment, our life would be so much easier. And if everyone can switch like that, then like that book is one day, if you ever get a chance, read that. It's The Power of Now. It not only talks about that, but it also talks about how people get addicted to drugs, and how people use their past to like punish like their new husbands and boyfriends. So like, you know what I mean? Like maybe you had an ex-girlfriend that broke up with you, and then you'd be like, oh, that girl did this to me. So then you're punishing your new girlfriend, like stuff like that. Because some people worry so much about their future that they can't really live their life right now, because they're so worried about when they're gonna make $1 million and stuff like that. So it talks about all kinds of different stuff. It's a really, really good book.
No doubt, man.
Yeah, have you read this book, Secret of Millionaire Minds?
Man, so this is actually, I came in here.
Excuse me.
I think it was like a couple of days after I met Jacob. I came in here one day, and I was like, let me read that.
Yeah.
Went home and like I'm about to buy it again because I want to read it again, but I don't want to keep on taking it from Jacob.
Yeah.
But this book right here is amazing. I ain't even gonna lie to you. It actually rewires your whole brain around money. It talks about your money blueprint, and it talks about how you can pick up some of the money habits that your parents have. Like even if you don't like, I may be picking up some of the money habits that my father has. Or I could
subconsciously, without you even knowing.
Right.
Yeah.
And it just shows you how to redirect it. And it's tons of affirmations in there. Every paragraph ends with, I have a millionaire mind. And I think that's so powerful. And it literally gives you steps that you can, it gives you a big goal. You put that on the step, on the shelf. Yeah. And then within the book, they give you small processes. All right, I want you to write down this. Now I want you to do this. Now I want you to wake up every morning and say this. And I want you to, it gives you those small process goals so that you can be a mental millionaire. Because like I said, you got to be a millionaire before you can be a millionaire.
Yeah, you got to mentally become that person.
Right.
Because I started a cleaning business and I wanted to be the best. So I called it Toledo's Best Cleaning. Before we even started, being in. My mom had a couple houses, but before we went to like full blown business, because I wanted to be the best. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I want to create the name and then become the best. Because I believe in that too. I believe in as long as you put something in your mind. Like before I got married, I wanted to lose weight. I wanted to be, and you see me at the gym every day.
Man, y'all. He be getting, man, you would see him in the pool, and you would see him on the bench, and then you would see him curling and squatting, and then we was hooping the other day.
Yeah. I try to put, I don't go crazy on one thing. I just try to do a little bit of everything because I want to do it for a long time.
Right.
Because you know how sometimes you might go and then you burnt out if you go hard on one thing, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to, I jog a little bit, I do this a little bit, and like that, I think, now that I'm 42, I could probably last a lot longer.
Right.
Try to be, and then I do a lot of intermittent fasting.
Yeah.
So that's because a lot of guys some guys that we work out with, they even ask me like, hey man, we've been working out the same long amount of time. How did you lose so much weight?
Right.
So I tell them because the way I fast and work out, it makes me lose weight a little bit faster.
For sure. And we were talking about this in the sauna one day. So could you explain kind of how? Because I recall you saying that fasting, or not even fasting, but your body can't heal while it's digesting. So I've always wanted to ask you more about that, but I saved it for the podcast.
Yeah, because so there's been a lot of studies. There's all kinds of new studies on intermittent fasting.
Right.
Not fasting 24 hours, not just like every day giving your body enough time to digest the food that you ate. Because look, when your body is digesting food, it can't really think straight. It can't really focus straight. It can't do it. Like if you're always eating, like say people that are just always eating peanuts and always eating this and always eating a snack and always drinking a pop and always, your body's always digesting. It gives you it leaves you almost in a cloud all the time. But if you give your body enough time to digest, to heal, right? When you're not eating, your body's healing. You're recycling like cells. Your body's healing from all the like bad foods, all the toxins. Everything we're eating in America is garbage, bro.
Like
it's
man.
Unless you're eating like at home, cooking your own rice and steaks
Gardens
and stuff,
and all type of stuff. It's
unless you're doing it like at home, most foods at restaurants, everything, a lot of fast food, everything is garbage. So we're putting a lot of toxins in our bodies, right? And if we're not letting our bodies fast, you're super skinny, so you got to be careful. You can't do like 16-hour fast like me, but a nice 8-hour fast every night when you're sleeping, like that means before you go to bed, don't go crazy eating a lot, and then when you wake up, you don't have to eat right away, you know what I mean? You can eat a little bit, you know what I mean, in the morning, but always have a nice 8-hour window where you're cleaning your body out. Some people do 10, I do up to 16 hours.
Man,
I do 16 hours without eating, but when I eat, I smash, because I'm a big dude.
Yeah, man.
When I eat like a double chicken thing at Chipotle, or we'll eat a whole bunch of salmon and rice, and I eat ice cream and whatever. I get my calories in.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But I don't, but the trick is to let your body once digest all that so it can do all the process, get all that stuff out of your body, get all the toxins out, and you'll have it's almost like back in the day, like imagine, okay, back in the day when the people used to have to hunt, right?
Right.
It's almost puts you in a hunting mode. It's weird. It gives you like the super focus where you can, like I have to do a lot of shit in a day. I clean like 3 residentials and then 2 rental properties, and I'll go and do this and I'll go do that. I give people rides. I go to my dad's house, go to my mom's, a lot of stuff. I get super focused because I'm not stressed about food, about I have to go eat, I have to go do this. I don't worry about that.
Right.
I work till like 3 o'clock, and then I get off work and I go eat my dinner.
So when you were getting on to the whole intermediate fasting process, like when you were super new to it and you didn't even think about doing this, let's say your first week, how was that?
That was hard.
It was hard.
It was hard because I was super addicted to sugar, super addicted to bread, pop, candy. It was super hard. I was nervous at first. I was like, man, my wedding's coming up. I got to start losing weight. So I was like, man, how am I gonna do this? But my nephew already taught me that fasting was the way to go.
Right.
So I started doing it. But at first I had to do like I told you, like an 8-hour window, and then open it to like 10.
So you ain't just go cold turkey.
No, you can't do that. Yep.
Yeah.
But then I built it all the way up to like, it's called 1 meal a day. It's 1 meal a day. It's like OME or OMD or something like that. 1 meal a day, and then you eat 1 big ass meal a day, like a whole bunch, like 2,500 calories, and then you don't eat again till the next day. And I did that for a little bit. Once I built it up so high that I could do 1 meal a day. And that's how I lost a lot of weight until my wedding. But now I don't do that no more. Now I do a few meals a day, you know, because it's
you have to find balance.
Yeah. And then, so how about you? Where do you work out? Like you work out at my gym, you do all kinds of stuff. I see you playing basketball.
I don't even want to say nothing about it because I feel like they're going to get on that, but I don't even got a membership to eSporters.
Oh, okay.
I've been going with Jake at first just on guest pass, but I think that ran out. But I'm so cool with everybody.
Yeah,
I always going, they'd be like, oh, what up, Beezy? Like, so we just be kicking it. But I got a membership at Crunch, and honestly, I could show you a picture after this, but I was a big kid, bro.
Oh, were you?
I was a big kid. And I think you know, I started playing football, so I
you did show me the picture.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, remember that picture you showed me?
Yeah, so I started playing football a little bit. I got small, but I think where I started like to really gain my physique is wrestling. Like wrestling shape is like no other.
Yeah.
I felt like baby Mike Tyson when I was wrestling. Like just always sweating, always working on. Wrestling take a lot of energy too.
Yeah. And it's a lot of like,
and just every small body movement feels so heavy and just it's combat. It's a combat
everyone's
sport.
pulling your arms, legs, everything. It's a little bit of everything.
Yeah. So from that, that's when I started to really hone in on my physique and just hone in on just being the most healthy and just the best person I could be. Because like I said, how you do anything is
how you do everything.
Absolutely.
That's awesome, man. So I mean, that's about it for the podcast.
For sure.
Did you want to? What's your social media?
All
do you have? You said you want to start. You started some.
Oh yeah.
Tell me a little bit about your social media. Yeah.
All right.
Forgot about that.
Before we get out of here, man.
Yeah.
So my business account is my real name, Bryson Davis, BRYSEN DAVIS. If you can go there, I post any of my home deals, any wholesaling deals I have, or any properties that me and Jacob are trying to offload. So that's business side of it. My personal Facebook account is Beezy Davis. That's just where you can I post my gym videos. I post even just me. It's literally just me without
documenting your life.
Right. And it's with business too. Don't get me wrong. Like I am business. It's not balance, it's harmony. So everything that I show you is me, but it's just a little bit more unfiltered because I want to make sure that business account is getting watched by the right audience. And then I'm gonna put this out into the world so I can stop procrastinating because I fall victim to it too. But I started a TikTok. It's _juniorpreneur. And I'm gonna start posting my journey and just start posting everything that I'm doing. Like I've been recording content today. I cold called for the first time. I hit up some like 70 leads today, and I was able to set 3 appointments out of that. It's a numbers game, so don't get turned off by the numbers. But for sure, it's like I'm gonna start documenting my whole experience so that when when I do make it, and when I do get to a point where I can teach people and help uplift kids out of poverty by teaching them business, I can go back to those videos and be like, man, I'm still just like you.
Yeah, because the thing is, I want you to document that stuff too, so I can see it. So when I can follow you along too, because like I know eventually like you're gonna move on with your life and I'm gonna move on, but you need to just keep documenting your stuff so people can follow your journey, man.
Right.
And then that's how you're gonna create who you are for the future, and then people can follow you because you got to understand this business. You're gonna get older and older, so you're gonna need people to keep following the page and keep growing your business. And then you want to leave this eventually, whatever you create, you're going to have to leave it to somebody, and you're going to have that social media that's going to keep going. Like that's what I plan. I haven't been recording as much the last couple of days just because I have a lot of work going on, but I'm going to keep recording my TikToks and all that. And don't ever let nobody say, hey man, you're too old for TikTok. Oh, you're 18. So, but people tell me you're too old for TikTok or whatever. But it is what it is, man. Because nobody's gonna help me grow my business besides me.
For sure.
Nobody's gonna help you.
Absolutely.
Like you got it. I mean, yeah, you got people on your team and shit. People on your team.
It starts with you.
But you got to do it yourself. Jacob can't go on your social media and be like, hey man, come on, let's go post. No, you got to be able to post your social media so you can keep growing this stuff.
Right. And I'm gonna be 100% transparent. Me being on social media and like even just recording my face and recording, like that makes me uncomfortable. It's always made me uncomfortable to just be like not the center of attention, but just put my life on the internet. That makes me uncomfortable. But another gem that if you ain't here, Jake's gonna laugh when I say this, but if you ain't hear nothing that I said this whole podcast and you took one thing from this, you can't grow in your comfort zone. Once you're outside of your comfort zone, that's where the growth process starts. Now it's okay to be comfortable. It's okay to be comfortable and still have that space, but you got to understand when you have that feeling of uncertainty and that feeling of uncomfortableness, that's where you're growing. And so now the way I see it and the way that I'm starting to get conditioned to see it is whenever I feel uncomfortable, I start running towards that situation because I know at the end of that rainbow is going to be comfortable, and where I'm comfortable is where I'm confident. And if I'm confident, then I know what I'm doing and I can excel. But I can't get to that if I don't go through the uncomfortable zone.
Yeah, that's really good, man.
No doubt.
Let's end it right there at that gym.
Man, that's that.
Thanks, man.
No doubt.
All right, guys. Thank you very much.
Right.
See you next week on Big Yogi's Garage.